Are you all ready to go?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. My lighting's off. Does it look better? Oh, oh boy. It's almost as if one of us fell asleep in between the watch and review last night. That's all
I
right.
was hella chilling on the couch.
We could pick
Woke
it
up
up
at
12
3 in the
hours
morning.
later.
Like, where am I?
All right, let's jump into it. Hey everyone, welcome back to Watching with Wingblade for Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Episode 2, Watch and Review. I'm Sean Wingblade.
And I'm Jermaine Jackson. I'm excited today to get into episode 2. What we saw last week was being reintroduced to Sam and some of the issues he's having with his family, his sister, nephews, some financial struggles that they're going through, as well as on the Bucky side, him having some remorse about all the things of his past, all the dark things that he's been doing, and some, him going through some struggles with that.
Yeah,
Um,
whether he did it on purpose or not, he still remembers it all.
yeah, yeah,
That's
it
that.
is. It's definitely taking a toll on him. We saw some
Mm-hmm.
sleepless nights, and him having some back and forth
Mm-hmm.
about what he should do about it. So
Yeah.
I'm excited this week to see where they're taking this. And I got some guesses, but I'm gonna save that for the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
Guesses where they're going with this episode for the future of the show.
Just this episode.
They're
Yeah.
definitely diving deep, and I appreciate it. The first week episode was right back to what is basically Winter Soldier 2, Captain America Winter Soldier
Right.
2, right back in the action, and I loved it. It was amazing. So can't wait to hop in. Let's go. Let's watch.
All right, let's get to it.
Free's a relative term, I feel like.
Right.
Pokemon, go.
Boom.
Join me in welcoming your new Captain America.
And messed up.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna love you. Good luck.
Don't try to be Cap
Right. But I
or
love what they're
Steve, I should say. Try to be yourself.
true. I love what they're doing here, though. They're making him like an empathetic figure.
Not yet.
He's not just an evil guy. He,
Right.
he he may turn out to be, but they're showing him, like he obviously has his own. He's just answering the call to a job, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, that's part of it.
Mm-hmm. That's what Cap had to do at first. He wasn't a
Yeah.
soldier. That he was just there for PR.
Hey, it got to be at a HBCU.
Signing autographs and kissing babies.
Oh, they doing a lot for this new guy.
I actually kind of like the suit. He looks a lot better in this episode than he did just at the tag at the end of the last one. Oh, he already has the shield, like
Whoa.
practicing.
So, what is the government's plan with him? Do they want him to be just someone to represent hope, or do they want him doing groundwork and not quite at the Avengers level, or do they want him to be with the Avengers? Because you're just a regular guy you're just brave with a shield. You
Right.
don't.
Bucky doesn't like that at all. I don't know. I wonder because Steve was just that at the beginning, but he turned into more
Yeah.
because he took it upon himself. And what even are the Avengers right now? Like,
Right.
where do they stand at the moment in the world, in the universe? They're more intergalactic now too. Hey, we finally get to see them together.
Oh, this is their first scene.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were separated the last time.
Besides, I have bigger things to deal with now. What could be bigger than this?
Super soldiers.
Where I'm going. Well, I don't trust Red Wing. Hold on a minute. You don't have to trust Red Wing. But I'm gonna go see if he's right.
I don't trust the little flying robot.
Fighting now, Gandalf.
It's true.
How do you know about
You got a point.
I read that. 1937 when it first came out.
He's an old school Lord of the Rings fan.
I'm coming with you. No, you're not.
He on that plane.
Mm-hmm. So this ain't the same as the Avengers travel in the past when they had their very own Quinjet
Right.
and they're like flying in luxury super speed. Now they got to take a cargo plane. I feel like this stuff is like off book.
Is that the guy that got stomped out?
Yeah. And obviously a few weeks have passed because he only got no bruises on his face.
Yeah.
Well, maybe he does. Looks like he has a black eye still. His right eye.
Oh yeah. He still winked.
That's not the same as what Steve did in Winter Soldier. He jumped in the water. He didn't just fall to the earth.
It's always in the abandoned warehouse.
White Panther. It's actually White Wolf. Huh?
That's
White
right.
Wolf.
Come on, man.
Wait, what's the truck behind him doing? They're just driving.
Yeah.
They're not like radioing. Hey, someone just hopped in
Like, hey,
the
somebody
thing.
just- yeah.
Someone just hopped in the cargo hold. What the hell, dude?
Found the hostage.
Did you though?
Nope.
Nope.
So they essentially have the same serum that Cap and everybody else had.
Maybe, yeah. I mean, they were experimenting on. Obviously, Hydra created Bucky. Oh no, not Red Wing.
Oh.
He said, "I wanted to do that." Hydra created Bucky after Cap was created, and they probably stole their own version of the serum. But they also made all those other Winter Soldiers, so they obviously had a supply of it. But they also, General Ross was experimenting in the Incredible.
Shit.
Oh snap!
Fake Cap.
Fake Cap. He's trying to do work though. Hey, this is
Get
partner.
out of here. Who is that? His sidekick?
That's his
Oh, I'm
sidekick,
starting
yeah.
to see that budget show.
Right? They blew the budget in the first episode.
Yeah. Why is he there? Lamar. Get out of here, Lamar.
That's his sidekick. Oh. Bucky's
your
like,
ass
let me
there.
get that shield.
Okay, let's see what Lamar do. Everybody here got strength, super strength, or powers. Look, Lamar. I'm so confused. Like, what were
Oh.
you gonna do?
Thinking fast, dude. I wonder if he's already juiced up. Because they talked about, they studied his body at MIT.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I guess not.
You ain't Cap. That's crazy. All the luxury they had while they was in the Avengers, they don't have none of that right now.
Right?
You got choked out by one. How you don't know?
Right? Did he feel extra strong?
How'd you track them here? The Flag Smashers.
No, we didn't track them. We tracked you through Red Wing.
You hacked my tech?
Sorry, it's not exactly hacking.
Ooh.
Mm-mm.
Like,
Not
yeah, we
yours,
got
so-
tracers and everything. It's government property, bro.
Well, the GRC, they're doing the best they can to get things up and running smoothly post-blip. Reactivating citizenship, social security, healthcare, basically just managing resources for the refugees.
Damn, you don't even think about all of that in the background. You're just like, as a fan, you're just like, they're back.
Mhm. Yeah, they're back to a shit show. Agencies running ragged, trying to get things back to whatever sense of normal they can do.
Battlestar. John Spartan. Battlestar? Stop the car!
Same.
He's
Same.
we're not giving each other.
Battlestar.
We're not giving ourselves superhero names. Battlestar, I'm out.
It'd be a whole lot easier if I had Cap's wingman on my side.
It's always that last line.
Mm-hmm.
Disrespectful.
On one hand, it seems like he's trying to be sincere. On the other hand, he just has ulterior motives. He's like, yeah, I only need you so that I can,
Right.
so I can put on a good face. Handprint. I didn't notice there was a world in the middle.
Me either.
Oh, she's getting text from a unknown number. Someone's
If
after
they're the
them
enemy
too.
and someone is threatening them, then they're not even the villain of the series.
Well, they're not wrong though. I mean, they are kind of like the Robin Hood, I guess. I mean, we'll see what their actual end goal is, but they're basically just trying to unite the world by not having borders. It's not a bad thought.
Right.
It's about your execution and how you go about, do the ends justify the means?
Looks like Mark Hamill.
Mm-hmm. Everyone wants him to play the young Luke Skywalker. There's a lot of time in between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi.
I'll take that over some CG face.
Oh, they're in Baltimore.
Be more.
Just Falcon, kid.
Black Falcon.
Black Falcon.
Because I'm black and I'm the Falcon?
Technically, I mean, yes.
So are you? I got him, right?
Got him. I guess when you have a guy running around calling himself the Black Panther, though.
Yeah.
Then you got another animal.
Whatever
in the mix.
animal. Yeah.
Call him the White Hawkeye.
We're here to see Isaiah.
Oh, Isaiah. Isaiah Bradley.
We had a skirmish in
The
the Korean War.
Korean War. He's old.
We met in 51.
If I met you, I whooped your ass.
Mm.
Then I took half that metal arm in that fight in Goyang, but I see he's managed to grow it back. Don't talk about it anymore.
Oh.
For being a hero.
He's jacked. He's still big.
Put my ass in jail for 30 years. People running tests, taking my blood. Coming into my cell. Even your people weren't done with me. Isaiah, get out of my house!
Oh, the government is foul.
Is there a problem here? No, we're just talking.
They're just gonna light these guys up.
Wow.
Did I see your ID? Oh, God. I'm so sorry, Mr. Wilson. I didn't recognize you without the goggles.
Oh, now that I remember you're an Avenger.
This is the second time.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, another one. I respect Disney. I respect Disney for this.
I didn't tell anybody.
But the snowflakes are going to be mad that this is in this episode.
Yeah. They deserve to be mad. They can sit in it.
You missed your court-mandated therapy. It's like missing a check-in with your PO. I'm sorry, Mr. Watson.
Oh, wow.
I feel like that's such a little thing, but okay.
And in the front. So,
Nope.
Was Isaiah another super soldier for the government after Cap was frozen?
From what I know, there's different stories. I'm not sure. I haven't read any of the those comics, but they experimented on black soldiers either before or after Cap back in the 40s.
Reminds me of the Tuskegee Airmen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He's too valuable of an asset to have tied up, so just do whatever you got to do with him and send him off to me. Got some unfinished business, him and I. You too, Wilson.
New Cap is trying to pull some strings, throw his weight around.
He's getting a little cocky.
Yep. Every time the cameras turn on.
An exercise. It's something I use with couples when they are trying to figure out what kind of life they're going to build together.
Couples therapy time.
Wait, what are you doing? Are you in a staring contest?
Why'd you give up that shield? big deal out of something that has nothing to do with you.
Steve believed in you. He trusted you. He gave you that shield for a reason. That shield, that is everything he stood for. That is his legacy. He gave you that shield and you threw it away like it was nothing. So maybe he was wrong about you. And if he was wrong about you, then he was wrong about me.
Oh, that's where it comes out.
So it's about him.
Mm-hmm.
We both can go on separate long vacations.
To me, it doesn't seem like their beef was as big as the doctor is saying it is.
Right.
Like they just did a mission together, and they
yeah. They just get on each other's nerves because they're both trying to alpha. They're both trying to be in charge.
Yeah.
And they're trying to pick up the piece that obviously Steve left behind. This huge hole, a huge shield-shaped hole.
What was rule number 2 again?
Don't hurt anyone.
Goodbye, Doc.
Yeah, he's gonna go break that rule.
I feel better.
I feel awful.
Oh, this fucking guy again.
You a dick, dude.
All right, he wasn't actually annoying until now. That whole bit inside the police station. Now this.
Well, there are hundreds of those all over the planet since the blip, so I guess you'll have to look real hard.
Good thing I got 20/20 vision then, huh?
Oh my god.
What kind of comment is that?
This dude.
He's getting too big for his britches.
A word of advice then. Stay the hell out of my way.
Oh.
Who are you?
Cap wouldn't say that. Cap would try to figure out a way to work together. Or at least work parallel, work side by side.
See his character change just in this episode.
Right?
It's not even taking episodes. He's getting real cocky and big headed.
Yep.
Everybody grab what you can.
I can give you time.
She looks like Maya Rudolph a little bit.
Yeah, I can see that. She was in Solo, a Star Wars story. All right.
Let's go. Wreck shit.
Right?
Oh, wait. They got guns? Oh, nah, bro.
Yeah.
That's not the move.
You're just going to run at it.
You're just hella strong. Yo, you don't have armor.
He just ran at like 10 cars all with their guns trained on him. And it's like, all right, I'm going to fight this dude, but I'm going to block all his punches with my face.
They got away.
Who's this dude? He looks like a government guy.
I know where you're going with this, and no.
He knows all of Hydra's secrets. Don't you remember Siberia?
So you're just gonna go sit in a room with this guy?
Yes.
We're gonna go see Zemo.
He knew all Hydra secrets. He found their Winter Soldier compounds. That's how he was, gonna wake up those Winter Soldiers before he killed them, though. Some sort of supermax prison, maybe?
That's a good episode.
Yeah, that was good. All right, that was a great episode. I really like that.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. We got to see a little bit more of the new Cap and, his personality, which I don't know about you, but, throughout the episode, I started to see his ego get a little bigger and bigger.
More and more. They started with such a nice scene making you feel empathetic for the character. He's like, I'm just trying to do good, this is what my calling was. I'm going to be the best Captain America I can be. I'm not trying to take over for Steve. But the longer it went on, the more of a dick he became.
Hell yeah. By the end of it, he's like, stay out of my way. Like, bro, what can you do? All you have is that shield and no super strength.
Right. And they mentioned, like, they studied his body at MIT, or I think it was MIT. But why? He's just a fit athlete. He's probably no stronger than, like, we saw Batroc in the first episode, who supposedly doesn't have any super soldier serum. So it makes me wonder if he is this super specimen, if he already has some super soldier in him, or if There's a possibility he's like a descendant of some kind of a super soldier.
Didn't
Because
think about that.
that's been speculated a bit because, and we'll jump ahead later. Isaiah Bradley, the kid in his house, is Eli Bradley, I believe his name was, who is the character Patriot, who is one of the founding members of the Young Avengers. And so Marvel's dropping these little Easter eggs in there. And I wonder if Isaiah had kids after he was already a super soldier, if he passed down some of his genes to Eli, and maybe that's where he has powers later on, if they even go down that route, if they even go down the road of, you know, which it seems like they are starting the Young Avengers. We'll see if they go that way. But I wonder if that tracks back to John Walker and he has a little bit of something in him, whether on purpose or if he was just born that way. I don't know. It seems like a stretch. I don't know. I think I talked myself out of it already. I don't know. I don't know.
I just don't know about that guy. At the same time, he does work for the government, and it's only so much he can do legally.
Right.
But
he's tied. He's tied by the.
He's giving off some villain vibes right now. So I don't know about that guy.
I think he's going to be like corrupted by his power. He's given this job. He's given all this responsibility, and that comes with a lot of pressure. And I think he's going to be one of those guys where he's like, no, I know what I'm doing is right, and I'm by any means necessary, I'm going to get this job done. And that's, you know, that's super villain vibes where you come into the sense of, I think I'm right, and I'm doing what I need to do to save the world.
Right.
You know, even if I have to murder all these children, why not? You know, it's for the greater good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll lend out an olive branch for you to help me. And if you don't take it, then, I mean, you could go by the wayside, or you can, you could potentially be an enemy of mine.
Yeah.
So.
And his partner is Battlestar as well. Battlestar, yeah. And dude seems actually like a standard soldier, like he's actually maybe he's trying to be a real hero. He's trying to do the right thing. We'll see if he toes the line of John Walker and just sticks with his plan because they're buddies, or if there's some dissension later on, if he does end up becoming U.S. agent and traveling down that road of going, villain-esque on us.
And if he wants to still stick by his side, or start seeing that he's going down a different path and feeling like, I didn't sign up for this, and then that relationship starts to deteriorate. So we'll see.
I signed up to help. I'm not trying to I'm not doing it by any means necessary to hurt people. Right. We're not going to go down that route.
I also want to go back to touch on Isaiah Bradley and go back what I picked up from the dialogue. It sounds like, and I'm not too sure if this happened before there was a Steve Rogers or after. It sounds like, they took black soldiers and experimented on them.
Yeah.
And he was one of them, and he was one of the successful ones, and they used him. But at some point, the government turned their back on him, and he became a prisoner. So they put him in prison for 30 years. And Disney may be going down this route of, they got a little bit into this last episode about social injustice, and how Black people are treated. Yeah. And so even though that was a completely different time, it was, and this is also a fantasy world, it's nice to see that they're tying that into that universe as well. Them kind of discarding him, and Steve Rogers got all the treatment, all the best treatment, parades and whatnot, and promo, and then nobody knows about Isaiah, and not even Cap knew about Isaiah. And
they wiped him from the record books. Yeah, basically.
Yeah. It's there's gonna be some people that's mad about what Disney and Marvel is putting into the show. That crowd that don't want any social justice awareness put into anything that they watch. So it's definitely here. I didn't know last episode if that was going to be um, if that was going to be the
Right.
only thing that they talked about surrounding like race relations.
Right.
But it looks like it's probably going to be a theme throughout the show, which I'm not mad at all.
Yeah. It's good they didn't just play lip service to it. And they're like, oh, yeah, we're totally exploring that. And they just do like one little blip on the radar.
Yeah.
It hit too, especially with the scene afterwards with the cops. But he definitely touched on how black soldiers were treated back throughout the entire history of America, used on the front lines as cannon fodder or whatever else back in Civil War and other wars. I'm not a historian, but talking about, I think you mentioned the Tuskegee Airmen.
Yep.
And yeah, they were treated as less than. They had the same skills, they put in the same danger, they did the same job as everyone else, but they were obviously treated as less than.
Yeah.
And you can tell that. And he was speaking a bit to, and Sam mentioned this later, he was speaking a bit to your people, and it has that kind of double meaning of, are you talking about white people or are you talking about Hydra, because they were the evil people?
It's probably a little bit of both.
A little bit of both, but they're touching on the real world topic.
Yes.
And it's good they're bringing shining light to it. And it sucks what happened to him. And I think, I don't know the history of him as far as when that his part of the program started. I believe Bucky mentioned it was the Korean War, which was in the 50s, so that was about 10 years after World War II.
It was after that. Yeah.
When Steve went down in the ship. So but it makes you wonder if he was already a super soldier at that point, if they were experimenting on black soldiers in the 30s, in the 40s, before they ever got the formula correct for Steve.
For Steve, yep.
Because that's obvious. That's how Red Skull was created. Is he took the super soldier serum as well, but he went mad because he didn't have that strength of character that Steve Rogers had.
Right.
So obviously, if it was the same serum, Isaiah Bradley did have that strength of character, because he was used though as a soldier for, I don't know if a soldier for hire necessarily, but he was used like bringing the big guns. He even said, we sent multiple people after you, after the Winter Soldier, and none of them came back. So that's why they dropped me in behind enemy lines, and so that he can go in there and do work. And he took half of his arm home with him, like you said. So, but then they shelved him. For everything he did for them, his prize was 30 years in prison and getting experimented on.
Yep.
And I wonder if I kind of took it to mean, I feel like Isaiah is both Sam and Bucky, in the sense of, I mean, obviously Sam, because they're both black soldiers, they're both being kind of, taken advantage of in the world we live in. Right. And then on the other side with Bucky was not a willing participant to become the Winter Soldier. He didn't sign up for that. He was also experimented on by Hydra and mind controlled and used. And I wonder if that will kind of come back later on, if they're going to go back to him and either talk it out or maybe fight it out. I mean, Carl Lumley playing Isaiah was jacked. I don't know if that's his real body, if he was
I've seen him in other stuff. I just can't remember
a suit.
what off the top of my head.
He played the Martian Manhunter's dad in Supergirl. If you watched last season or the season before, he played an older Martian Manhunter. He also voiced the Martian Manhunter in all of the Justice League and Superman, all those animated series from the 90s and 2000s. But he's been an actor for years. He has a long career. But so I wonder if they'll go back to him and try to find a common ground and try to get to the bottom of some answers. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
And then you also got, like I said, that Easter egg with Eli. They didn't call him by name, but if you look at the credits, apparently he's credited as Eli.
Hmm.
And Eli Bradley is one of the founding members of the Young Avengers as the character Patriot.
And just to touch on this real quick, if if there's anybody having a problem about any of this, any racial things being brought into the show, they need to do their research and realize that almost all of these storylines were picked from comic books that were made in the 90s. So this isn't something that they're seeing going on with Black Lives Matter and
Mm-hmm.
everything else going on and say, let's implement that into the show. These were literal storylines from comic books 30 years ago. And that says something when it's still relevant today.
It's surprising how many people like to spout off about, don't bring politics into my comic books, into my TV,
Yeah.
my movies, my whatever. It all stems
Yep.
from comics.
Yep.
Superman was written by two Jewish guys about an immigrant story, and comics have always. X-Men was about Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X, and the two sides of engagement or pacifism in the civil rights movement. It's all politics. It's not all politics. It's all stemming from real world experience for these writers and these creators, and what they decided, that they say, hey, we write what you know. So they're putting their story out into the world.
Right.
And yeah, people, they just want to see shiny things blow up.
And I think that's part of the reason it's so good, because it stems from something real.
Mm-hmm.
Not that anybody doesn't have a great enough imagination to make something to this degree, but everybody has influences and experiences to help them create. So
absolutely, yeah.
Yep. Let's talk about Bucky and Sam's relationship. What are you thinking?
I'm glad they finally got together. In the first episode, they were spread apart. So, and I feel like the trailers mislead you there. You think that they're going to be, they're a team, they're going on missions, but no, they're doing their own thing. And they even mentioned that in the first episode. Bucky's, hey, you haven't been answering Sam's calls. You have all these missed messages from Sam. So it's nice that, I guess it took Bucky seeing the new Captain America with the shield to go to Sam. Yeah, to set him off. Go to Sam and be like, dude, what the hell? You should have never gave up that shield. What were you thinking?
And I think Sam has a little bit of regret about doing it. He just has too much pride and ego to admit that he made a mistake. Yeah.
Well, he even says, he goes, I didn't know what they were going to do with it.
Yeah.
Because you think I would have let that happen? I didn't know,
Right.
I don't know. He thought that they were going to be going into a museum or whatever. He didn't know they were going to just, because he even says in his speech, I think it's time for a new hero.
Yeah.
Or time for new heroes to stand up. And so
the government took that and ran with it.
Yeah. Like,
say no more. We got somebody lined up already. Anyway.
we already got a guy. He's been training since birth. So they go together, they hop on the mission, they go or Bucky reluctantly just says, hey, I'm on board. Sam didn't
I'm going anyway.
Yeah, he's like, I'm going anyway. They're hunting down the Flag Smashers. They get in this big old fight. John Walker comes in with his buddy Battlestar. They kind of help save the day, even though they get their asses kicked as well.
Yeah. Lamar went down there and is just murked as soon as he touched the top of the truck. Like, dude,
he had nothing for them. He's lucky. He's lucky John shot that dude. And then immediately got kicked off the top of the truck. And he's lucky John threw the shield underneath him.
Yeah.
Which is quick thinking.
I thought their relationship wasn't that bad for the the doctor telling them that they need to do those exercises together. And, I think she's like a psychologist.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe because there's always been back and forth banter between two partners in Marvel movies and properties, that I didn't think their relationship was that bad. Until they were sitting legs locked.
They're doing the soul gazing exercise.
Yeah, and you can see that, like, Bucky, it's deeper than the shield to him. It really has to do with what was the line he said? If he thinks that way about, or if he's wrong about you, then he's wrong about me too.
Yep.
So that kind of brought it home for me. Like, okay, so he's he's internalizing that shield being given away, and that's shaking him up and making him think that maybe what Steve thought about him is wrong, and he's not the person that he thought he was.
A lot of it hinges on Steve Rogers and both of these guys' relationship to him, because he was the best of us. He was the best of all of them. Physically, emotionally, just as a character, and he had the best intentions. He's the most pure of all of them, and he had faith in Bucky that he could be reformed from the Winter Soldier, and obviously he was correct. I mean, he went to Wakanda, he went through the procedure, he went through this, that, got all the stuff out of his head, but he also changed, even though he's living with all this remorse and drama from. He remembers all the killings he's done.
Yeah.
And so when he gives the shield to Sam, he has the same faith, and he believes that Sam can also be the best. But Sam doesn't have that faith in himself.
Yep.
And so
that's clear. You could clearly see that.
So if Steve is wrong about Sam, he might be wrong about Bucky. That's hard to deal with when someone, you rely on, I guess, other people's opinions of you.
Yep.
But you also need to be able to rely on your friends and lean on people and when you need that.
Right.
And so it's such a fine line of being confident enough in yourself as a person to live and to do right in the world. And that's what he's struggling with now. He's like,
Steve thought he was, Steve thought he changed and he's now a good guy, or he's, putting in the work to, reverse everything that he's done in the past.
Right.
And if he's wrong about that, then he kind of values Steve's opinion of himself more than what he thinks about his own self. So if Steve is wrong about him being a nice guy, then he's that I think it scares him. He's like, oh man, like I put in all this work, and that's like putting a dark cloud over me and making me think maybe I'll never change. If he's wrong about that, maybe I'll never change. And
what am I going to become? What am I if I'm not this?
Yes.
This reformed individual. Yeah. It's tough to come to terms with too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Flag Smashers?
So the other part of the show is the Flag Smashers. And obviously we had the battle, Bucky, Sam, and then John and Lamar +2. Bucky, Sam +2 show up, and they all get their ass kicked. Granted, there was like 8 of them, so I mean it was kind of unfair, but there was only one actual super soldier in Bucky, as far as we know. So that they get their butt kicked, and then they're in hiding though. They're on the run. They're getting help from people because they're like the Robin Hood of the world right now. They're stealing vaccines. They're trying to help people. I feel like they're not going to be the true villains of this story.
I agree.
They're going to be like a misunderstood group, but there's somehow, I think that Bucky and Sam are going to come to terms with them in a way, and it'll be kind of like almost like the enemy of my enemy type of situation. Like, hey, we can both work together to get to the end road of whatever it is we need to accomplish. There will be a great, and Zemo most likely, we'll talk about him in a moment. But I think there's going to be a greater evil in the world, and they'll figure out that they have some common ground. They're not trying to kill people necessarily, though their methods are a bit extreme, but it seems like they're just stealing stuff. They're not out there just straight up murdering people,
I also feel like there may be a time in the show where Sam and Bucky they kind of warmed up to the Flag Smashers, and maybe they start working together, but New Cap is being so by the book and so black and white that he still may try to pursue them. Like, okay, you guys need to be arrested or locked up, and that's gonna put Bucky and Sam in a weird predicament where they got to protect them, but they're going against the government at that point. So
that's fantastic prediction. That's a great idea. Yeah. That'll definitely, they'll be like, no, they're not as bad as, oh, but we got to take them in. It's like, all right, then you got to go through us to take them in, type of situation. Yeah, we'll see. And this was basically like the first act of a movie, right? There's going to be 6 episodes, 45 minutes to an hour each, or whatever the length is. And this was the first act of the movie. So this is basically has been all set up. This is what the story is about. And with the Flag Smashers, we get a hint of the power brokers, right? And Carly was getting text messages from this unknown number. Hey, you took what is ours. We want it back. We'll come after you. So they are probably going to be like on the run from this greater organization of whoever these power broker people are. And then that's I think that's where Bucky and Sam will come into it to kind of come to their defense. I wonder if it'll end up being that, you know, the U.S. government is the power brokers or something like that.
Oh, that'd be
that's
mindfuck.
Yeah, right. And that's where, you know, John Walker will have to start essentially being their little puppet and doing something. I don't know. Yeah, towards the end, and then they just I thought though it was such a silly scene. I like this whole show. A little bit of the budget showed in this episode with the graphics and that fight on top of the tankers.
The fight on top of the trucks. And then, the frame rates was looking kind of...
It was looking a little wonky.
Looking kind of stiff.
And then the dude at the end, he's like, I'll buy you some time. Boom, I'm going to just knock down a telephone pole and then run at 10 vehicles with dudes trained with their guns on me. Like, what?
And they're like, stop.
You could have knocked the pole down and ran back to the plane.
Yeah.
We could all took off together. You didn't stop anyone. Like, what was that? That was literally like my only like gripe about this show. So
he could have waited right there and just pushed the pole over right as they were. You know, the first trucks get hit by the pole, and then that makes a blockade for every truck behind them.
Exactly.
But I understand they just want to put out there that, you know, they believe what they believe in so much that he's willing to sacrifice himself.
That's true. That's true. The sentiment was there. I didn't like how they pulled it off though. That was just my issue with that.
Yeah, because you weren't dodging those bullets.
No.
I mean, you got super strength, but you don't got super speed.
Right. Exactly.
Well, maybe they got super speed, but you don't have enough to dodge bullets. This ain't the Matrix.
So. As much speed as Bucky and Cap would have had, you know, when they were running when they're chasing down cars and whatnot.
Yeah,
basically. So yeah, that's about it with them. And then I guess we, you know, at the very end, the tail end's pretty much setting up for what the series is going to be going forward. You get the true villain, at least a name drop, we think, in Zemo. So Sam and Bucky are like, hey, you know who Isaiah Bradley was talking about? He was talking about Hydra. They were experimenting. They might know where the super soldier serum came from. Who do we know that has all this information on Hydra? Zemo has a whole dossier on Hydra because he basically, you know, he found their hideouts. He found where all those Winter Soldiers were being kept back in Civil War. He shot them all. He killed them all. But this dude has all the information. He's been doing his research, you know. Yeah. So they got to go talk to him. Basically, it's going to be like a Hannibal Lecter moment. I feel like. Yeah. With, you know, hey, to hunt down this killer, I got to go talk to this other killer. How is he going to get broken out?
And a reminder for those of you that might have forgot, Zemo is the villain in Civil War. He was the one that was going to kill himself, and Black Panther stopped him.
Right.
And so he's locked up right now, and that's what they're going to see in the next episode to figure out what the hell is going on. So
Yep. See if they can get some information out of him. I'm wondering if we'll see a scene where he'll try to trigger the Winter Soldier again. You know, because he knows those words from Civil War, and I wonder if he's gonna try it. But like, oh, now's my chance to break out, and so we might see. I don't know. I think it'd be funny if Bucky
a return of the Winter Soldier.
I would think it'd be funny if he pretended He's like, "Oh no, my brain."
Yes.
And then he's like, "Yeah, no, that didn't work. But we got that taken care of. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks to our friends in Wakanda, we got it handled."
Right.
Yeah. So I guess that was the end of the show. Closing thoughts, I suppose. They just continued what they set up in the first episode. I really liked it. Really enjoying this. We've said it time and time again. Winter Soldiers are both of our favorite Marvel movies. So they're basically just continuing that on. You could tell the budget is a little off in this one. We'll see if that gets any better or worse, as they continue forward. But overall, pretty good. What do you think?
I'm feeling this episode. I like how what we took from the first episode, they're kind of expounding on that, and by the end of the episode, we're questioning the Flag Smashers. Are they really bad?
Right.
Who is this new villain? And New Cap, is he really good?
Right.
We're questioning the good guy, and we're questioning the bad guys at the end of this episode.
Exactly.
So that was a good swap. I thought
is this New Cap corruptible?
Yes.
He's wavering for me.
Yeah. And I mean, it's safe to say that Sam and Bucky's relationship is going to be tight at the end of the show. With all these things, stuff starts off rough, and by the end of it, it's all good. So,
absolutely, yeah.
So it's just watching that progress, and them getting on good terms with each other again.
We'll see how it progresses forward. We'll see if they end up as partners on missions, or if they're going to actually end up as friends, as brothers, like Steve was to pretty much to both of them, to be honest.
Yep.
So we'll see if they can mend that bond too. That would be interesting to see. We'll see how it plays out. All right. Well, thank you everyone for watching. We really appreciate it. Please like the video. Please subscribe to the channel. Help us out and comment on it. Let us know what you thought of the show. Let us know what you thought of this whole show, this whole format. We're still learning. This is still fresh. It's only our second episode. We're still trying to figure this out. So please just let us know and keep it rolling. Stay tuned for next week.
Thank you guys for the support. I'll see you guys later.
Peace. I feel like we're gonna do the peace sign every show.
Yeah,
we did that.
I'm gonna do this next.
Did you just put you? All right, I'll do this.